Hello and welcome back to another video, guys. Now, I know in my last video, my update video, and the response to that was really nice. I just want to say, so thank you to everyone who commented on that. That from here on, the channel, there's going to be less editing in the videos because it takes up too much of my time. In this video, there probably will be a little bit of editing because I wanted to keep the format of how I unboxed these Doctor Who The Collection sets the same, because people seem to really enjoy actually getting my reactions to the episodes. Because the beautiful thing about these Doctor Who sets, if you're new here, is that when I unbox these, I've only seen not normal, that's wrong, that's insulting to Classic Who, sorry, I didn't mean that, but I've only seen modern Who, really. I started watching day one with Rose. I was around my grandparents' house, because my parents were out in London, and they said, hey, this TV show's coming back that we used to watch as kids. And so I sat down and I watched Rose with Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. And from then on, that's been my journey with Doctor Who, watching all of Modern Who as it's aired. But with Classic Who, I've been going back with these collection sets. They're brilliant collector's pieces to have. And for someone like me who's never seen these episodes, it's a brilliant way for me to view them for the first time. So, yeah, people seem to really be enjoying getting me react to the episodes themselves, because yeah, they're brand new for me. It's exciting. I'm getting to watch some brand new Doctor Who. So we are going to keep the format the same. So for those of you who are wondering, don't worry. We're gonna approach these videos the same as we have before. Although I haven't got my normal background up today, because I'm going to a lot of this. You'll see me laying in bed at night, going, "Oh, hey, here we go. We're going to watch episode or story number 3 now, or whatever." I figured there's no point doing all the background setup. So, and also I think it's kind of nice to sit in front of my fantastic collection, which I'm very proud of, very happy to have. So, without further ado, because we're 2 minutes in and we ain't even spoke about it, let's get on. So, of course, this is Series 13, which I think arguably a lot of people say is the best season of classic Doctor Who, along with Series 12, I also hear mentioned a lot, which, of course, is brilliant. I have seen that, obviously, because it's been released in the collection. So, anyway, let's get into this. Try and do this on camera a bit. Pulling the wrong bit. Here we go. This is HMV. I can't even slag Amazon off for once. Okay. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Let's hope for no dings. Oh. And there's none. It's in beautiful condition. Here it is. I thought there was something wrong with it then on the camera. It's just the sticker. But it is, of course, Doctor Who, The Collection, Season 13. The beautiful artwork by Mr. Lee Bindings. It's just unbelievable how good this looks. Now, I know that each cover, he kind of goes for a specific story. I don't know the one that he's gone for here, with the hat and the outfit that Tom Baker's got on here. But wow, look at that. You got such a cool little array of villains there, including a Zygon and Omega, which, of course, not Omega, sorry, Sutekh, which I am familiar with from New Doctor Who. The Zygons, yeah, Sutekh obviously didn't have a great story in modern Doctor Who, but I'm hearing that the story in the classic Who for him is really good. So I am noticing one disappointing thing though. The artwork on mine looks like it's sort of gone onto the spine, which is a bit upsetting, because on the spines now you're going to have that purple strip there, which is a bit of a shame that they haven't quite got the artwork right there. Because that's going to stand out, because at the minute they're all beautifully lined up where it's just the grey spines you see. So this one here actually is breaking the format a little bit, just from a mistake on probably it might be the artwork side of things or the printer's side, but that's a little bit of a shame. But anyway, let's actually get into this set now. I didn't bring a knife over here, which is a shame. Actually, I might have a knife here. Have I got one in this pocket? I do have a knife in here. Okay, so let me just put a little slice in here very carefully. Got a blunt blade. I need to change this. Pop that back. Right, here we go. We're going to do some ASMR here with the cellophane. And it's off. There we go. So there it is outside the packaging in all its glory. Beautiful, beautiful cover. As you can see there. And then, yeah, the spine. You'll be able to see what I mean there. You know, it's just me being nitpicky. But, yeah, bit of a shame. But here's the back. And I'm going to hold this up close now so you can have a look at any information you want to. Because this set does come with so many bonus features. And that's the thing, when people complain about the prices of these, a lot of the time with products like this, movies, I will agree with them. But in this particular case, I really, really strongly disagree. The amount of artwork that goes into the packaging, and that's the artwork and the actual layout of the box set, and the amount of bonus features they cram into this, and the effort that goes into the restoring and the remastering of all of the footage here, it's unbelievable. I really, really, really do love it. So we've got the spine there, of course, and then the other spine throughout the picture. You've got the top. And I haven't seen the back yet. Let's pop the back off. Oh, just dropped it on the floor. Wow, this is unbelievable. Look at this. Absolutely stunning. Of course, Sarah Jane there. Just going to pick the J card up. It's fine. I was wondering, saying, oh, it came with no dings, and then I've just put a big ding in it. Sarah Jane there, of course. I can't remember whether this was her final season or if it was Series 14. Oh, wow. So, on the inside, of course, we've got the TARDIS doors that open there. We've got the Doctor and Sarah. And the discs. So then. Can't do this and hold my mic at the same time, so we're going to flick through the discs now. One more. So there's all the discs, and now we're going to just open up the TARDIS doors. So yeah, of course in there you've got the standard TARDIS opening, and you've got this picture that came behind, which is also the cover for the book. And then on the back. And I normally put the Doctor and the Companion on the back here, but is this? I could be wrong. So please don't come for me, Doctor Who fans. But are these the Doctors that get like teased, which the thing in Jodie's era brought back? These are all the faces of the Doctor before William Hartnell, which I'm still really not a fan of. Is that who all of those are? If so, I'm really upset they're acknowledging it, but anyway, I'm going to flick through just a couple pages of the book here, or else we'll be here for ages. So, yeah, absolutely stunning. You get your standard advertisement there for Doctor Who, and I normally get rid of these because I don't like the set to have all that stuff in it. It's looking fantastic without it. So, anyway, I'm really curious as to whether I'm right now. I'm really looking forward to finding out if those are the Doctors on the back. You watch them be like writers or something, and I've really messed it up. But anyway, you know, it's a theory and a guess, so sorry if I got it wrong. But let's take a look at the episodes we're going to be watching. So, we've got 5 stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories. 6 stories to go over the next couple weeks, because I don't think I'm going to get them all in 1 week. We got Terror of the Zygons opening it up, which I'm really excited to see, because again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Zygons only appeared the once in Classic Who here, and we had to wait all the way till the 50th to see them again. We've got Planet of Evil next, then Pyramids of Mars, which again could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the one with Sutekh in. The Android Invasion, The Brain of Morbius, and The Seeds of Doom. So yeah, anyway, I'm really excited to crack on with watching this. So anyway, we're going to fast forward through to in a couple hours, and we're going to start off with Terror of the Zygons tonight. I'll see you guys there. So, here we are, we're back in the normal spot. For those of you who have watched my unboxings of some of these videos before, sorry the lighting isn't brilliant, but you know, it's late in the evening, so we're gonna, well, it's not late in the evening, but it's the evening now. It's, I don't know, what is the time? It's just gone 8 o'clock, so I don't know how long this is going to be, probably 2 hours I'm imagining, so probably 10 o'clock we'll be done. But we are about to kick off with the first story in here, which is Terror of the Zygons. So yeah, as I said earlier, I'm very excited for this one. The Zygons are really cool villains, which have been showcased in modern Doctor Who as well. So yeah, we're going to crack on with that. But before we start the episode, I'm going to show you the menus, because the menus on these sets are always pretty fun to watch as well. So let's take a look at that. Here we are then, here's just a quick look at the opening here. And of course on here you do get a lot of special features and stuff on here, as I said. And yeah, it basically just gives you a little pan around of the entire TARDIS console. Let's just see if it's going to do a wider shot for us. And it normally tries to replicate the one that's in the opening set of the packaging itself, which is quite cool. But yeah, as you can see, it's not really giving me loads here on this opening. In fact, it's one of the more disappointing openings we've had on one of the discs. But anyway, there are the opening on the titles. Now let's crack on with Terror of the Zygons. And one of my games just updated. Episode 1, Terror of the Zygons, sees the Doctor called back to Earth by UNIT. Here he encounters a brand new foe known as the Zygons, which take the shape of anyone. In this story, the Doctor must try and figure out who he can and can't trust, especially when they take the shape of his friends. So, that would be episode 1, or story 1, Terror of the Zygons done. Yeah, I really like this one. It actually reminded me a lot of... it reminded me a lot of one of the newer episodes from the modern era, and that being the Family of Blood one, in terms of how they took on people's forms and were obviously infiltrating this group that the Doctor was surrounded by. And I think it was really fun to see the characters go through that, especially like Harry being one who was kind of a pretty main companion of the season with Tom Baker. Seeing him become one, and there were some really cool scenes where Sarah Jane encountered his doppelganger Zygon, which I thought was really fun. And I want to say though, on a side note to this one, there were some very funny moments in the episode, and I feel bad saying it because the actress is unfortunately no longer with us, but Elizabeth Sladen, I think her name was, who played Sarah Jane. The acting in this episode wasn't particularly great, I'll be completely honest with you. But, you know, you've got to take this stuff with a pinch of salt. It's 70s BBC TV series sci-fi. It's not going to be the highest quality, of course not. But it was very fun. The Zygons are awesome. They look great. I love their voices. Tom Baker was, of course, brilliant. And I already know where the costume and the cover art inspired comes from now, as the episode opens immediately with him in his Scottish hat. But very cool episode, really strong start to this box set, and I'm really excited to get on to the second story in here, Planet of Evil. So, I'll see you soon for that one. And by soon, I mean right now, because we're going to start that one tonight. I'm not sure how many parts there are to this one, but I'm going to make a start tonight, as it looks like I'm going to have a very jam-packed week. So I'm going to try and get at least 2 to 3 parts in tonight. So anyway, we'll pop the disc in now. We're going to watch half tonight, and then we'll probably have to finish it another night if it's a lot of parts. But we'll see. Well, you know, who knows? Maybe it's going to be a late one. Maybe it's going to be an all-nighter. Anyway, let's pop the second disc in. The Doctor and Sarah Jane answer a distress call, and they find themselves on Zeta Minor, the last planet known in the universe, where a monstrous expedition has gone wrong, and the crew are seemingly starting to become divided. So that is Planet of Evil done. Yeah, it's the next day, and as some of you can tell, I've had a haircut. It's a little bit shorter, not too much. But anyway, what did I think of Planet of Evil? I watched part 1 to 3 last night. I weren't sure how many parts it was going on for. I probably actually could have done the whole thing, but I assumed it was going to be a couple more. And I finished part 4 tonight. When it started off, I really wasn't sure about this one. I thought, is this going to be one of those kind of filler stories for the season as a whole? But the more it went on, the more I really connected with this one, and I loved the idea that this man had been infected with the presence of what was coming from the planet, was sort of chasing the Doctor and the characters on the ship. I thought it was really cool, and the effect on his eyes looked really fun. The villains themselves, when you sort of spooky red outline of them, you know, what you got to remember with Doctor Who, like I've already spoke about in this video, is that it didn't have a big budget. And I think actually at times, it's quite impressive how well they worked with this budget on things like the sets. I think they're actually incredibly impressive at times in this show. But then you get some really funky looking villains like this, where you could tell that the budget was pushing its limits here. As they looked really bad. But you know, again, the time, the budget, all that stuff, it all comes into play. And you got to counter that with things like the great sets and stuff. But the plot itself I thought was really good, really engaging. I like the side characters in this one, especially the crew, seeing them turn on each other. I thought it was really entertaining. So yeah, Planet of Evil, really enjoyed this one again. I don't know what story I preferred out of the two, actually, out of the first two. Maybe the Zygon one by a touch, but this was a surprisingly really good follow-up. I didn't think this one would be anything particularly amazing. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. So now, of course, we're on to the next one, and I'll see you for that one very soon. And by very soon, I mean right now, because, yeah, I only watched one part. So I'm not sure how many parts there are to the next story, which is going to be Pyramids of Mars. But if it's 4, I'm hoping to get them all done tonight. Pyramids of Mars, don't know anything about this one. I'm assuming this is the one with Sutekh, which is probably the one I'm most excited for. And as I say, when we looked on the back of the booklet for this, that will be all of the other Doctors which come before William Hartnell teased, which they only finally came back to in the season 12 finale of Modern Doctor Who, which I'm still not a fan of how that played out, but we're not gonna get into that. But anyway, I'm really excited to watch this one. So without further ado, let's get the disc in the player. In the Pyramids of Mars, the Doctor and Sarah Jane land on Earth, where a man is attempting to wake up an incredibly dangerous and powerful being. The Doctor must do everything he can to stop him, as what is maybe his most greatest and most powerful foe could potentially emerge. So, it's about 11:15 at night now, and we have indeed finished the Pyramids of Mars. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, that was one of the best episodes of Classic Doctor Who I've seen, and it actually made me a little bit upset with the modern version of Sutekh. Even though in that Ncuti Gatwa double part they done, I'm not going to touch on it too much. I do think the build-up to him was quite good in the first part of that story. It's just how quick and easily Sutekh was beat, whereas in this story it was much better. I really enjoyed the first 3 parts of this, it being set on Earth and it really being about Sutekh just trying to escape, and he was very powerless for the majority of the entire 4 parts, to be fair. But in the first 3 parts, really just completely stuck in his dimension with his servants, his mummified warriors, trying to get to him, and the Doctor and Sarah trying to stop him, of course, from escaping. And then I love that the 4th part goes off-world, it goes to the Pyramid of Mars, and it's kind of like this Indiana Jones-esque mini-story of who can get to Sutekh quickest to stop him from escaping. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was really, really well done. And Sutekh himself, one of the most threatening villains ever in Doctor Who. And I was wondering how they do this, because in Modern Who, whenever the Doctor encounters any of these gods, whether it's from the Tennant era or, you know, what they've been doing lately in Ncuti Gatwa's era, he always seems terrified of these gods and demons and beasts. But in classic Doctor Who, I've never really got that in any of the episodes I've watched so far where the Doctor encountered a god. But here, Tom Baker was genuinely scared at the start, and I thought it was really cool, and it made Sutekh seem that much more threatening. I actually really like his design as well, and the dog look was kind of cool as well. Yeah, overall, this is one of the best. It's up there for me with the Daleks' invasion of Earth with William Hartnell, the Five Doctors, which is a biased one, of course with Peter Davison, and yeah, Genesis of the Daleks as well from Tom Baker. This is really up there as one of the best classic Doctor Who episodes I've seen. It was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, and I'm guessing from this point on, Sutekh is stuck to the TARDIS till Ncuti Gatwa's era. A bit of a silly plot point to believe that he's stuck on the TARDIS for all that time. But anyway, yeah, really, really great episode. So anyway, I'm not sure when we're going to get onto this next episode, but we have the android invasion next. So I'll see you at some point, maybe tomorrow night, if not some night over the next week or two, to carry on. So I'll see you soon for that. So that's right, we are back tonight with the android invasion. Now, just in case you guys are wondering why I'm always wearing the same shirts, because it's late at night. I'm normally sitting in my pyjamas, and I don't want to come on camera in my pyjamas, so I've kind of got this shirt just sitting here for when I hit record. I'm obviously not filming these all in the same night, because getting through all of these in the same night is going to be incredibly difficult. But, yeah, up next, the android invasion. I don't know how we're going to top Pyramids of Mars from this season. In fact, all three stories so far have been pretty brilliant, so I'm really excited to see if we can keep this trend going. So without further ado, let's get the disc in the player. In the android invasion, the Doctor and Sarah land, and it seems that everything's quite normal until they realise that there is something quite off about the town they've landed in, with the people and its surrounding. Can they figure out what's going on? So the android invasion is done. I've watched it, and I'll be honest, this is my least favourite story so far. And I want to say, when it opened up, I actually thought it was really great. I actually think this is one of the few Classic Who stories that got weaker as it went along, which I feel like with Classic Who, because it's made up of so many parts each story, normally it obviously starts off slower and it builds and gets better. And I feel like that's what a lot of the episodes this particular season has done, even though they've been pretty solid from the word go. But especially with other more mid-seasons of classic Doctor Who, they've always started a bit slower and progressed into something more interesting. Here, it actually just, I kind of lost interest. I really liked the creepy factor that they were in this town and they didn't know what was going on, and I thought the first two parts especially were particularly fantastic. Especially the opening where they think they're walking into this normal British town, and then of course they come across Unit as well, and I think it's the Unit they know. And obviously with this set, you sort of have an idea that they're going to be robots. Obviously the title, the android invasion, you sort of know they're going to be robots. I kind of thought they might have been Autons at one point with the finger shooters. Yeah, even though you kind of had that inkling of what they were going to end up being for obvious reasons, I thought it opened brilliantly. And then when the kind of monsters in the episode come into it, I don't know, the third and fourth part lost me a bit. It was okay, it was fine, it wasn't bad by any means. It just actually lost my interest a bit. So yeah, I'm going to say this is the weakest story overall so far, even though the opening showed a lot of promise, and I really loved the opening. And again, it reminded me of something from Modern Who that I've seen. It reminded me a bit of, is it Amy's Choice, the one with the Dream Lord thing, where you're sort of in a town, it's like, is this real? There's some creepy stuff going on here, everything feels a bit out of place. But yeah, I really loved the opening of it, so it's a shame that I didn't really connect with the back half of the story. It was still good overall, there's no doubt. I'm not slating the back half of the story, I just think this is the first one where I didn't love it, but even though it started off with as much promise as the previous 3 episodes. But anyway, the next story we're getting onto, we're really getting through these quick, and that shows that this is a really good season of Classic Who, because I really can't wait to get onto the next ones. And the next one up is The Brain of Morbius, which I really here is a fantastic story from this season as well. And I recognise the villain with the big crab claw hand thing, so I actually have been made aware of that. And yeah, it's a popular story from Classic Who, so I am very very excited to get onto that one another night. I'm not sure when it's going to be. It might be a couple nights now, but anyway, I will see you guys for then. So we are back today to watch the next story of Doctor Who. I've actually had a couple days away from work, so it's been a couple days since I've watched an episode, and I've got to say I am beyond excited to be back, because while I was staying away, I kept thinking about this season, and that's how I know it's been for sure since I've been making these videos where I talk about every episode, every story, which is since the season 15 release. We've had season 15. Season 7 and season 25. This is the one that's engrossed me the much because I can't stop thinking about it. And I am generally really excited to get back and watch today's story. So our last one, the Android Invasion, was the weakest one so far, but I still had a very good time with that. And we are going into the Brain of Morbius today, which I've heard is a very, very good story. The villain in this one, I've seen pictures of him before. The vivid memories of the big crab claw arm, and you can see him on the cover, has stuck with me over the years. And I could be wrong, because I thought it was going to be in the Sutekh one, but I've got a feeling this is the one where we're going to see those other doctors that they brought back in the Jodie Whittaker Timeless Child story arc that they done, which I'm quite excited to see how it plays out in this particular story, even though I'm not a big fan of it still, but we're not going to get into that. But anyway, yeah, I'm buzzing to get on with this, and so we're going to stick it on and hopefully get through all 4 parts. I think it is. I think it's 4 parts. I had a cheeky look on my serialized app the other day, and I'm pretty sure they're all 4 parts except for the Seeds of Doom. That was either 5 or 6. So I don't see why we can't get through it all tonight. But it is Friday. I've had a long week, so I might fall asleep. But I'm going to do my best because I'm very excited to watch it. So without further ado, let's get the disc in the player. In the brain of Morbius, the Doctor and Sarah land on Khan, where they encounter the Sisters of Khan, who are warning the Doctor about something else that's happening there. A scientist is trying to resurrect a very dangerous Time Lord who goes by the name of Morbius. Can the Doctor and Sarah stop him? So, the brain of Morbius, I've watched it, and what did I think? Honestly, again, a fantastic episode. I don't think it's as good as Pyramids of Mars, but I think it might be a close second for me in this season. I didn't know that the Sisters of Khan, I think that's what they're called, the Witches of Khan, which I know from Modern Who with the Paul McGann Night of the Doctor, was it Night of the Doctor? I can't remember what it was called. Mini episode they aired before the 50th, and the small appearances they had in the season 9 Capaldi era. I didn't actually know that they were from Classic Who, so it was really cool to see them and for them to get a whole episode where you get to explore their kind of culture a little bit more and you get to see who they are and what they are. And I really loved the character Morbius, like the whole idea that he's this crazy Time Lord and all that's sort of left of him really is his brain, and he's got people stitching him together like Frankenstein. I thought that was really, really cool. Again, the way they kind of finish off his character, that would be a cool villain to bring back in modern Doctor Who, wouldn't it? I think, anyway. I thought it was really good. And, of course, this is the one where you see all of the previous versions of the Doctor that came before William Hartnell, or you see a few of them. Yeah, so this is the episode where that god-awful story from modern Doctor Who stems from, and I really don't know why they done that here either. I give the modern era such a bad rap for doing it, but that's my biggest negative of this episode, why they made there be previous existing incarnations of the Doctor before William Hartnell. I don't know why that's ever become a thing. But anyway, we're not gonna go into that anymore. I wasn't a fan of that bit. But the story itself was really good, really fun. Tom Baker, man, he's just so good as the Doctor. Obviously he is. I mean, he's probably overall, with the general public, the most beloved version of the character ever. Maybe rivaled with David Tennant nowadays, but from the classic era for sure, Tom Baker. But anyway, we're on to the last episode. The Seeds of Doom. So I'll see you soon for that. And I'm going to see you right now for it, actually, because I'm gonna start it tonight. I'm probably only going to get through one part, but still, I'm gonna chuck it on. I'm really excited to keep going with this set. I'm having an absolute blast with it. Spoilers for my recap at the end. I'm pretty sure you all know where it's going. But yeah, anyway, the Seeds of Doom. We're gonna crack on with it right now. So let's get the disc in the player. In our final story for Season 13 of Doctor Who, The Seeds of Doom, the Doctor and Sarah are asked to go and investigate something which has been found. A plant-like space egg, which the Doctor knows is a dangerous item. However, there are others on Earth who wish to exploit it. And just like that, we have come to the end of Doctor Who, The Collection, Season 13. The final story, The Seeds of Doom. Was a very interesting episode, and I've got to be honest, at first I thought, wow, this has just taken mass influence from something like Alien here. Like, there's these egg-like things, and they open up when in the presence of humans, and they take over the human body. But then, of course, I thought, well, hang on, this surely come out before Aliens, and it did. It came out before the first Alien, the Ridley Scott 1979 film. Of course, this season here, I think, was 1974 or 5. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. But, so it was actually, in terms of that, it was actually a very original story. And I really enjoyed that this story kind of went through a lot of different phases. The first bit being in the Antarctic, where they find these alien things. And there's the rush to see who can get them. Can the Doctor get it? There's obviously, you've got some kind of good side characters in it, and some who are a bit evil, obviously, and corrupt. And then you've got the middle portion of the story, which is where it lost me a little bit, I'll be honest. But then it really pulled it back at the end, where the plant-like alien monster took over. And for the time, the effects in this one were actually pretty cool, I thought. I'm assuming it was like a little model of the house they were in, they built. And you could see the monsters, like, branch tentacle things over the building. I actually thought it looked very cool. And yeah, it was a really, really fun story. I do think that this is the only story in this season that ran over 4 episodes, and I think that is the only thing that lets us down. I think, yeah, it's 1 part too long. I think this would have benefited from being 4 parts like all the other stories, but I'm sure it was more a contract thing that the BBC had greenlit so many stories to come out this particular year for Doctor Who, so they had to obviously expand one of the stories probably. So but I would have just shortened this one by an episode, really, I think. Other than that, it was really good. And I'll just conclude now by saying that I think this could be the best season of classic Doctor Who I've watched. It's between this and Series 12, probably. It's really, really fantastic. I thought that the highlights for me were actually Planet of Evil and The Brain of Morbius, but Pyramids of Mars was the best one. Really, really enjoyed Pyramids of Mars, the Sutekh one. I can see why Russell T Davies got inspired to bring that villain back with the new Ncuti Gatwa era that we've just had. But the season as a whole, yeah. The only weak points is to say, the Android invasion lost me a little bit in the back half, and I feel like the Seeds of Doom there in the middle, there was a little lull. Other than that, it was consistently really, really good. Really strong season. Tom Baker's brilliant as the Doctor, and Sarah Jane is, of course, one of the best companions we've ever had. Absolute classic. Yeah, it was a really, really fun watch, and I watched it a lot quicker than I thought I would, and that's because every night I was getting home from work and just sticking it straight on because I was having that much fun with it, which I haven't done with all the seasons, I'll be honest. Some, you know, like everything, when you've got a show that runs 26 seasons, there are bound to be seasons which aren't as fun. And that did happen a few times where I was coming home with these collection sets, and there were nights where I was like, I'm going to have a break tonight. But this particular season, I couldn't wait to keep going. So that says a lot in itself for it, I think. So yeah, season 13, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to pop on the bonus disc now, and then I'm going to stick the set on the shelf, and we can see how that all looks as well. So in terms of the bonus features, this is pretty much what you're getting sort of on every disc. There isn't a disc that's got specific bonus features on like some of the other sets have had. This one, it is sort of mixed across all of the discs in the set, which is quite nice because it still makes for more room and you still get a real tremendous amount on it. And as you can see here, here's the ones that are on the last disc, Disc 8, The Seeds of Doom. Here we go then, guys, going onto the shelf. And there it is. Look at that in all its glory. It's a little bit darker on the grey, which I have noticed with some of the newer sets. I noticed that with the Season 25 one. This is me being really picky, by the way. You can just see a slight difference in the colour there. And again, you can see it here with Series 13 compared to 14 there. Just ever so slightly different. But, I mean, look, the Tom Baker collection. It's nearly done. Only Season 16 to go. Wow, they're looking absolutely fantastic on the shelf. Look at that. What an incredible lineup. So then, guys, there we go. We are at the end. I can't believe we've done it in such a quick time. There is my unboxing, my review of Doctor Who The Collection Season 13. It's been a blast. It's been brilliant. And I'm already buzzing to see what the next one is. And just a little side note, in case any of you are interested, over on TikTok, Mr. Lee Bindings, the artist behind the artwork, has released some other art which could have potentially been the cover and the booklet artwork and stuff. He's released some more artwork which could have been a part of this set, which I found very, very interesting. And he has said he's going to be teasing the colours of the next set soon. So that leaves me with our last little bit. What do we think is going to be the next set? Personally, I think they're going to do Season 21 next. But I'm still just so hoping for a Troughton one on the shelf soon. But listening to other Doctor Who YouTubers who know more than me, it sounds like that's not going to be coming for a year or two yet. But I'd love to get one from the first two Doctors again, just to get that first era sort of filled up a little bit. But I'm going to go with Series 21 next. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. It's been a long one. I hope you've stuck with it. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you all next time for another one. Bye-bye.